It's just answering your specific questions. You can get a good feel for that. They got to open up and tell you, right? And it comes down to just building a relationship with the client. And some clients are better than others. Some are just very literal. You'll ask what happened. They'll answer very short. You've got to just get them to tell their story. Oftentimes it's just opening up and often if I talk to a client, I don't jump right into, unless I'm really pressed for time, what happened. I go into their background or talk about their family, what do they like to do, and that's really kind of get to know their situation better, right? In a situation like that, I'd want to know how they met. I want to know more about his wife, more about him, more about the relationship. Even down to what do you like about her, what you don't. And sometimes clients ask, like, why are you asking me all this stuff that's not relevant? I said, well, it is relevant to me. You want me to tell your story of innocence, I got to know your story, right? And it's just getting them to open up, and it takes time. And oftentimes as lawyers, oftentimes it's tough to find that amount of time, especially if they're incarcerated and you have minimal amount of time. So sometimes you need to expedite that. But you really need to get your clients to trust you, and you got to be able to trust them. And that doesn't happen overnight because a lot of times they don't trust you because they've been burned by the system. In particular, maybe if they think that maybe don't have their best interest in mind, or that they're very skeptical. They may not initially trust you, but just learning their story out. And that's the way I do it. And just, sometimes you have clients say, listen, you don't have to tell me literally everything I asked. Don't give me that exact answer. I want to know everything. And if I want you to stop sharing, please, I'll let you know to stop sharing, or if it's TMI. But it's just building that relationship. And the thing is, it takes time. And we don't always have time. So if you don't have a lot of time, then you've got to just start off with it and say, listen, everything we talk about is protected by attorney-client confidentiality, so whatever you say to me stays with you and I. But you have to understand that I need to know exactly what happened, because if I don't know exactly what happened or how it happened, I can't protect you. It's no different than it might be embarrassing. Let's say you have someone going to the doctor and they have an STD, right? That'd be really embarrassing to do. But you need to go to the doctor and tell the doctor that that's the problem so they can give you whatever medication they need to fix that, even though it's embarrassing. So if you go in and don't tell the doctor you have that type of an ailment, they're not going to be able to fix it. If you go in with that problem and tell the doctor, well, my elbow really hurts, they may give you an elbow brace, but you still have that ailment. And even if it's embarrassing, and oftentimes for the clients, this type of stuff is very embarrassing to talk about, whether it's sexual assault or fraud or whatever it happens to be, these are very embarrassing situations. But you have to break that down, no different than a doc's going to have to do. Because if you don't tell me what's wrong and give me the honest answer of what's wrong, I can't prescribe the right type of treatment for you. And so that's the situation we're typically in. And so it's letting a client know that and giving them that kind of analysis and just opening up to them. And each individual is different. So not only do you have to be effective at this job, not only do you have to be a lawyer, you have to be a bit of a psychologist too, and be a bit of a counselor. And you have to take on a lot of different roles at once. And that's what a good trial lawyer does. And it's not easy, Al. It's just not, especially when you have obstinate clients. But that's the best. Sometimes that's the best you can do.